Rayan always loved having the house to himself. No noise, no chores, no one asking him to do anything, just silence and the freedom to enjoy the night however he wanted. When his parents left for a weekend trip, he felt nothing but excitement. It was a cold winter evening, and the house felt unusually still, as though it were holding its breath. He grabbed snacks, switched on his favorite movie, and curled up on the sofa. But halfway through the film, he heard something strange, a soft tapping sound coming from behind the wall. At first, he ignored it, thinking it was just the old house settling. But the tapping grew louder and clearer, like knuckles knocking slowly and deliberately. Toke, toke, toke. Rayan paused the movie. The sound stopped instantly. He waited. Silence. He shrugged it off and pressed play. But as soon as the movie resumed, the knocking started again, this time faster, like fingers drumming impatiently. Tock, 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 tock. He muted the TV. The sound continued. His heart thudded. He sat perfectly still, listening. The knocking seemed to travel from one wall to another, as though something or someone was moving inside the house's walls. Rayan walked cautiously to the hallway, each step echoing in the empty house. The air felt colder here. He placed his ear against the wall. Nothing. Just as he stepped back, something scraped from the other side. A long, slow, dragging sound like nails sliding along wood. He jumped away from the wall. Probably a rat, he whispered to himself, though he didn't believe it. He returned to the living room, trying to shake off the eerie feeling. He turned the movie back on at full volume. But the noise started again, this time directly behind the sofa. Scratch, scratch, toke, toke. Rayan leapt to his feet. The sound stopped. He slowly turned toward the wall. The wallpaper bulged slightly as if something was pressing from inside. "Nope, I'm not staying here alone," he muttered and grabbed his phone. He tried calling his parents, but the call wouldn't connect. No signal. A shiver ran down his spine. He grabbed a flashlight and went upstairs to his room, slamming the door shut. He tried to distract himself with games, but the tapping followed, this time coming from inside his closet. Toke, toke, toke. He aimed his flashlight at the closet door. "Stay calm." "It's just your mind," he whispered. The door handle twitched. Rayan froze. The handle twitched again, harder this time. Suddenly, the tapping stopped. Silence wrapped the room. Then, bam! Something slammed against the closet door from the inside, making the wooden panels shake. Rayan screamed and stumbled backward. The door rattled violently as though something was trying to break out. He ran out of the room without looking back. When he reached the stairs, the entire house fell silent again. His breathing was the only sound. He slowly descended the steps, flashlight trembling in his hand. He reached the living room and his blood ran cold. The bulge in the wall was gone. The wallpaper was perfectly smooth. "Am I going crazy?" he whispered. Just then, the kitchen lights flickered on by themselves. Rayan slowly approached the doorway. The air was freezing, his breath turning visible. Inside the kitchen, the pantry door stood wide open. Cans of food were scattered across the floor in a trail, leading to the basement door. The basement door was slightly ajar. Rayan had never hated his curiosity more than in that moment. Hard hammering, he approached the door. As he pushed it open, a cold draft swept past him, blowing out his flashlight's beam. In total darkness, he heard it breathing. Slow, heavy breathing coming from the bottom of the stairs. He backed away, step by step. The breathing grew louder, faster, closer. Then a low voice whispered from the darkness. "You finally heard me." Rayan's legs gave out. The door slammed shut with a force that shook the house. He scrambled back to the living room, panting, unable to scream. The walls around him began to knock in chaotic rhythms, hundreds of taps at once from every direction. He covered his ears, tears falling. Stop, stop, everything stopped. Complete silence. He forced himself to look up and saw footprints on the carpet. Fresh footprints, wet and muddy, leading from the basement door to the living room to right behind the sofa. Then the final footprint appeared right behind him. When his parents returned the next morning, the house was open, lights still on, TV playing, but Ryan was gone. His phone lay on the sofa, screen cracked. The police searched the house and eventually opened the walls. What they found inside was far worse than they expected, and Ryan was never seen again.